Good morning, everyone. So, being in my garden, I don't have a water system set up. That is a project I'm doing over yesterday and the rest of this weekend. So, I took some time this morning, like usual, to water all of my plants. And in particular, I have two flower beds on the side of my house that are growing sunflowers at the moment, and that dirt seems to dry out a little bit quicker. So, I did water it last night, and now I'll do it again this morning. So, two waterings a day. And while watering, I noticed some of the love and a mist that I had were actually going to seed, so I figured let's take the time to dissect love and a mist. So here is the plant as it stands in the middle of these two planter beds. This was a a winter sow. So early January, they actually went into the soil, covered them up with a bit of soil because they are tiny. We'll see here in a minute what they look like, and germinated really well. I think here the end of April and the beginning of May, they started to bloom. And I started using these after they started blooming as cut flower arrangements because we'll see these stems. Let me grab a cutter real quick. This is my handy dandy workstation at the moment. Grab some clippers here. Walk back over. The stems you'll see are pretty hard, so let's just snip this one and I'll show you. So they're not flimsy. Usually, like if you were to do this to a petunia or another plant, the stalk would just snap. So they are firm, they are bendy as well if you ever needed to spike it into something. It is quite tough, and the stem length could get quite long as well. I have a white and blue blend, so pretty much the same, just showing you comparison. The white that it comes out to and the blue, either this dark blue is more of a better sample. So you'll see in the middle all of those little shoot off things. I think this is where the pollen is, and eventually this center part becomes, if you can see it in between, it becomes the seed head. So this one's already in a little more progress of a seed head forming. The petals will fall off just like that one. They'll dry up, fall off, and eventually form a singular seed head. Let's see, like this one. These are all flower blooms that I did not get to cut off, and they're gonna form, and they've formed this. So while I was out here today, I noticed there was some that had browning on it, and just for imagery, I wanted to cut them off. But it turns out that these are actually the seed heads. So prior to that, it might look similar to what you think the bloom would look like, but it's more of a color. You'll see the color coming through. So that one's white, and they're a lot more smaller as well. So the blooms will look like this versus the seed heads of already bloomed flowers will have this. So what I want to do is cut a few. We'll walk inside and dissect them, and you'll see and take a look at exactly what the love and a mist blooms look like. So let's cut a few here. You can also hear an audible, when you shake it, you can hear the seeds audibly. I don't know if you can. We'll take a look inside though. So if you want to always give it a shake and see if you can hear the seeds rattling in there, then you'll know for sure you're good to go and cut to collect your seeds. Okay, so now that we're inside, I just have this as a sample, but we have quite a few. No need to look at all of them though. I'm going to show you just snipping the top, and then hopefully these are ripe. So this one, you can see the middle stalk here. A few of them are green, so this one was too early. So a few of them are turning black, so that's what you want to see. The black ones are the ripe ones, so. We'll leave those there. And then I had seen one that was like entirely brown, so I thought this was surely past, but as soon as I opened that one, all of the seeds and sides are black. So it's best to wait until you see the green around the outside to fully turn this brown color, and then that way you can guarantee that the seeds are ripened and ready for collection. So I'm just going to do that with the rest of these since I already cut them. I might save a few to see if they'll ripen on their own off of the plant, and if so, then I know it's not such a loss if I cut them ahead of time. But in the future, for the next batch, I'm definitely going to wait until I see them more on the brown side and actually can audibly hear the shaking of the seeds. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is Love in a Mist. Here's a few of the blooms. So those seeds were collected all together, so I have no way of knowing which one will be white or blue next January when I sow them, but I'm going to continue collecting after this batch and hopefully next January do the same on a much larger scale, putting Love in a Mist actually into the garden soil so I can see how that does here as well. Thank you all for joining here at my first garden. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great day.